CJ Christopher Jones in the building.
Yes, sir.
I think you got to turn your volume down.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to turn your volume down. Yep, you're right. I'm getting that echo. How we sounding now?
Cool. That work?
Yeah, that's work. That's what's up. All right, so let's go ahead and start the show off. Start with the introductions. If you're on Instagram, go ahead and follow us on YouTube and Facebook. Or if you're on Instagram, if y'all just getting in the building, go ahead and pin a comment or pin a question. We'll answer it later on in the show. But same thing if you're on the YouTube following us. All right, we live on YouTube. I just got the notification. So let's go and start the show. All right, so Mortgage Mondays. Let me introduce you to myself. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a published author, serial entrepreneur, mortgage broker. My NMLS is 1541210 for compliance. So my book, Sales the Nucleus of Any Profession, is out right now. So go ahead, cop that. Get y'all a copy of that if y'all want to make six figures in this industry or any sales industry. That's available right now on Amazon. So my website, if y'all want to go ahead and apply, my new website is www.applywithb.com. www.applywithbee, like my middle name.com. Also, if you want to book me for sales consultation, motivational speeches, sales training, whatever, www.billionaireloanofficer.com. You can call me, 832-775-8357. I'm available 24/7. Or at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Also, CJ, you can CJ Sales Texas, TX, on all social media.
Yep.
And I'm going to let Chris go ahead and introduce himself. I want to introduce one more time, for the first time, real quick, our new sponsor, www.houstonCondoSales.com. So it sponsors us on Mortgage Mondays, and it sponsors the Power of Ownership podcast. So, brand new site for Houstonians, by Houstonians. So if you're trying to get a townhouse, a condo, high rise, best site on the net right now. So go ahead and check it out, www.houstonCondoSales.com. Trying to get a condo, high rise, or townhouse right now in Houston. Check it out.
Shout out to them.
Fire. All right, so Chris, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then let's go ahead and get cracking.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Chris Jones. Everybody calls me CJ. I'm your local Houston real estate expert. I'm here to help you with anything related to buy, selling, leasing, residential or commercial. So if you need me and want to book a consultation, give me a call, 832-338-3182. And I'm on all social media platforms, CJ Sales Texas.
Gotcha. All right. So with that being said, let's jump into this topic right now. A lot of people been waiting on this. A lot of people, been inboxing me on this one right here, DMing me. If y'all got any questions about this, go ahead and write that in the comments. But we want to talk about wealth building through real estate. How do I make some money? How to get this moolah, this paper, this thriller? How do I get this passive income through real estate? First of all, I want to start off like this. I want to say peace to our ancestors, Dr. Martin Luther King. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King is his birthday today. His legacy, we trying to carry on his legacy as men. And, I hope I could, by the time I punch my clock, I hope I could do him proud and do our ancestors proud. And this is what we're trying to do, So I want to say shout out to him first before we get cracking. Mm-hmm. Second of all, I want to say 90% of millionaires made their fortune or made their riches through real estate. It's one of the staples of it should be one of the staples of your portfolio. Let me say that. Then the third thing I want to say, and I want to turn it over to you from there, is that the reason why I go so hard, the reason why I preach Black ownership and I preach Black and brown ownership is because of the ancestors that are the opportunities that they didn't have just a short time ago, less than 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. They didn't have the opportunities that we have. So we have these opportunities now. So I want to share the wealth and share the knowledge and have people that look like me take full advantage of the opportunities that's given to them right now. So if that makes sense. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to you. As a realtor, what's your perspective on this wealth building? And then we'll go
That's
from there.
crucial.
Right.
Yeah. This is a crucial tool in building wealth here in the United States. And I wish more people took advantage of it, but I'm glad we're doing this to kind of shed light on it for more people to get an understanding of how it works.
Right. I fixed the problem now. I think I fixed the problem. It was me actually with the
you have some feedback?
Yeah, I'm good now. I'm good.
Okay.
Cool. So go ahead. Say it one more time. One more time. Go ahead, run it.
Oh no, I'm just saying like this is a vital tool in creating wealth, especially here in the United States, because like you said, that's how the majority of the wealthy achieve their wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every wealthy portfolio has real estate in it.
Right.
And there's a reason for that.
Right.
So you got to be smart in your approach and not just go out here and just buy anything. You got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan to stick to that plan.
All right. So the novice person, the person that's looking at right now, how would they get started? What would you suggest for how to get started and making some money on real estate?
Man, that's a loaded question, but a lot of people that are short on cash and want to get into the investing side, they look at wholesaling.
Right. Break that down for me.
So basically, your boots on the ground, finding opportunities in whatever area you're in, with locating a seller that needs to sell the house, and they don't know, they have the money or the resources to work with a realtor, and they just want to get it sold, and they're willing to sell it at a discount.
Right.
And you're basically helping them find a buyer. So you're basically a middleman.
Gotcha. And how you can make some money off of that? How break it down. So this is 101 for getting rich off of real estate for dummies. The yellow and black book.
So if you just get started, I would say, like, before you even get into wholesaling, I would say even shadow somebody.
Right.
Because there are so many different things that goes into it. If you don't know how to run comps and find out the market, the ARV, the after repair value on the property, then you don't need to touch it yet. Because basically what a wholesaler does, he or she realizes that this house could be worth this amount if it was fixed up, but it's not. So I'm going to go under contract with the seller for a reduced price to find them a buyer.
Gotcha.
So you put your quote unquote finder's fee on top of that price that you sell to the buyer, and once they close, you get your credit.
Right. So you don't need no money to do this.
It's a lot you can do without money on this.
Right.
But it's going to take a lot of time, though.
Right. So you just got to have patience, and you basically marketing for the whole thing.
You got to grind, though. You got to hit it, especially in Houston, because Houston is saturated with investors, wholesalers, flippers, all of that. So if you just get started, you got a lot of competition out here.
Gotcha. Let's take it to something that I like, and I'll start answering this as well, because this is kind of my specialty. Let's talk about a rental portfolio, investment properties.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll answer that. I'll start. I would say, first of all, a lot of people call me up and want to get investment properties, and they renting. That don't make any sense. Right? So let me say that first. If you're renting, get your house first, because at least that it doesn't make sense to throw money away on one end and then make money on the other end. So it's like that bucket with the hole at the bottom. It don't make any sense. So first thing first, get you a house, and have that first, and have a nice little bit of equity in first before I would say start an investment property portfoldio.
Well, they can still do the multifamily and stay in one unit.
Right. And that's what I would suggest. That's my next thing I was going to suggest.
Mm-hmm.
First thing first, I would suggest to get you the quad or the triplex or the duplex. The reason why I would say the multi-doors first, and especially if you're just starting off, especially if you're fresh out of college, especially if you first time home buyer, stop trying to get the dream house, especially with people that look like me. Stop trying to get the dream house out the gate. That's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to have your first, second, third house facilitate your dream house.
Yep.
So, and I know we're impatient. I know we want flex immediately, but, put some, and that's what I talked about yesterday on the show, put a little bit of investment before you start flexing. So get you a quad, and have those tenants pay for your actual note. So live in one side at least a year or two, because you got to buy compliance. And then let's say you got 4 doors. You get an FHA loan, 3.5% down. Also, you get down payment assistance on this as well. You know what I mean? So it's like pretty much set up for you. 620 credit score. You get your tenants in there, and there's 75% of the rent that we can use towards your income as well. And we can do what's called a comparable rent schedule. So let's say each door is, let's say you buy a quad, and Houston probably gonna be at least $300,000. Let's say at least $300,000. Easy. So let's say the note's gonna be, let's say $2,000 to this depends on the taxes, $2,000 to $2,500. Let's say each door go for $750. So you add that up, that's $2,200 right there. So pretty much that note's gonna be paid for. You're living for free. So you take that money that you was gonna be renting with $1,000, $1,500, and you set that to the side for a couple of years. Think about it, $15,000. $1,500 a month times 12. You stacking about $18,000. So you put that aside for 2 to 3 years. Put it in a 401k or put it somewhere where you can compound that interest. Then you got a nice chunk to get your next house, or to get you, get you a house where you can be by yourself. Then you rent out all 4 doors.
Yeah, and just everybody, but he says a quad because you can buy a property that has up to 4 doors on one property and it still be considered residential real estate. Right. Anything over 4 doors is considered commercial, and it's a whole nother ball game with the loan.
Right.
So
you can get
that's why I mentioned quad. Yeah,
so up to 4 doors, 1 to 4 doors residential. And the reason why is because commercials it can be done, but you're looking at 25, 30%, 35% down on commercial. And they're not even gonna look at you unless you got this money in the bank. All right.
Yeah, ain't no down payment assistance.
No down payment assistance. So you can get into it a lot easier through the residential side. 620 credit score, so on and so forth. So start off with get you a quad, get you a door. That's your first taste of multiple doors. The more doors, the more wealth you can buy. Then the next step, take that money that you was going to be renting, because you're going to be damn near living free, and don't just spend that in flex. Go ahead and set that to the side. Just like you got to be disciplined with this approach, and that's why I like this approach, because I look at the end results. Again, I look at people that a lot of my peers, and I look at a lot of people that's friends of mine, and I look, they got 10 to 15 doors, and they're 10 to 15,000, sometimes $20,000 a month before they wake up.
Right.
And think about it. If I'm $20,000 a month times 12, that's $250,000. That's not including my vocation.
Right. Sleep money.
It's sleep money. I'm just sitting there
while you sleep.
Right. So this is the end result, but you got to build this up step by step, and it doesn't happen overnight. A lot of people want to fix and flip. A lot of people want the big chunky money. But I would say, especially if you're in your 20s, people that's in your 20s, listen, or even in your 30s, listen, it's going to take you 5 to 10 years to build up this portfolio, build you up about 10 doors. Then I would take that chance and go and fix and flip. Now, because I got a lot of capital. That's just me personally. I play to win. You know what I mean? And that's how I play. Now, you could go start off fix and flip if you want, but think about this. I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of fix and flip. Fix and flip, you got to have a lot of money up front. Number one. Then number two, you got to be patient as well, because sometimes you can dump that money into the house, and the house will sit on the market for 6 months.
Yep.
I mean, so before I get to that, we're going to get into the pros and cons of that. But to finish what I was saying, add a door or add 2 doors every year. Every year you get another house. You take some of that rental money, and I wouldn't even spend it. I would go ahead and just stack it to the side so I get another house. And then what you do, take $150,000 to $175,000, sometimes $180,000, and then put $50,000 down, and your note's going to be about $1,000 with taxes and everything. You can rent that thing out for $1,500. So you make a $500 profit on each door. Right. You see what I'm saying? That's on the minimum. Now, if once that stuff start paying out, and then if you start, performing at your job, if you work in sales and you get a nice little bonus and chunk that thing out, hurry up and pay that thing off. That way you get that whole $1,500 free and clear. You got what I'm saying? So, and that's how a lot of my friends did it. But now they got all these properties free and clear. They got that whole thing as profit coming in. They got 10 doors. They make $15,000, $20,000 a month. But it starts off with finances. It starts off with one door. It starts off with the quad, and then go from there. It takes a little bit of time. That's my favorite approach because you don't have to have a lot of money. You can use credit, and it's pragmatic, and you need patience. Now let's go to fix and flip. Fix and flip is a little bit different. First of all, you're gonna have to have some money up front. Yep. You're gonna have to have money not only to buy the property. If it's, let's say you buy something $40,000, $50,000, I wouldn't finance fix and flip because fix and flip, that's dangerous. But most of the time when you finance fix and flip, it's gonna be hard money. Because most of the time, if you can do conventional, the only thing about that is that, and I want to get into this as well.
But hold on, explain to him what hard money is.
Hard money is this. It's not something I do, but I can broker that out, bring it to me. I'm not a hard money lender, but I can broker it out. Hard money is basically a private person, not a bank, that's lending you money. He's an investor. And there's no regulations on this. So he can kind of charge you whatever interest rate he wants. And it's typically 15%. And sometimes interest only for the first 2 years, then it's a balloon payment at the end. So that's going to come due in 2 years. And if you ain't got the money, you know what I'm saying? You're taking that property. So it is what it is. So it's a lot riskier game to mess with the fix and flip. I would say get your capital together, get your portfolio together. That way, if you have the worst case scenario, if you do happen to get into a bad deal, you could absorb it. Mm-hmm. You get into a bad deal and you don't know what you're doing off the gate, it could sink you. You could go bankrupt and the whole thing could fall apart. That's just how I play it. I'm a calculated risk taker. Does that make sense?
And then if you do the fix and flip, you're still not holding on to that property, so you don't have a door under your portfolio.
Right.
So you basically reselling the house, and then once you get the profit from that, if you don't reinvest it into another property, Uncle Sam is going to bust you across the head with a capital gains tax.
Right. So you got the taxes. Fix and flip, and then it's saturated. A lot of people doing it. Mm-hmm. And there's no residual income in it. So, but it's good to add to your portfolio. I don't want to just kind of totally to stir people away from fix and flip. This is my ideal situation with fix and flip. I got 5 to 10 doors right now where I got a nice little chunk. I'm secure. I got a surplus of money. I find a deal that, a $40,000, $50,000 dilapidated house. I could take this house and go ahead and put another 40, 50 in it and then go ahead and sell it for $200,000. I could go ahead and, damn near double my money, but it's going to take some time. So I not only got to buy the house, which doesn't take that long, a couple of weeks. Then I got to get the renovations done. That might take anywhere from a couple of months to 6 months. This depends on what kind of crew you have. Then you got to sell it.
Yeah.
You got to find a buyer. So that could there's no guarantee that somebody's going to buy it.
Right. That's why you got to be smart about what property you pick and what location it's in.
Right. So it's nice chunky money, but I would do this if I had a surplus of money. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't use that to count on to get rich. Now, there's a caveat. What I would do, I would do that in the commercial sense. Let's talk about a little bit about commercial and land loans and stuff like that. Let's talk. Land, and you do land as well, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about land. Let's talk about commercial. That's how a lot of people sleep. That's where the real money's at on the commercial side. But you gotta already have a little bit of money to be messing around,
right,
with the commercial side. Oh, you got to have some nice credit. So I would say start off with the portfolio, going to fix and flip, residential. Then I would start messing with commercial.
Mm.
It's all the progression, just like we did in the show. So let's talk about land and let's talk about commercial. Let's talk about that. Once you get third, that's my third phase. What would you say on that note?
And that's the key. Like we talk about doors. So commercial is going to be like you're talking about. Start off smaller and get your weight up, get your money up.
Right.
And go for those commercial properties, which we're talking about. If you're doing like multifamily, it's going to be 5 doors and up.
Right.
So when you see these small apartment units, even up to the big ones, that commercial property is the main. That's going to be the big payoff.
Well, let's talk about land first. Let's talk about land. How can you make money with land?
Several ways.
Right.
Several
I'll
ways.
break down one and then you can follow. So, and this is what I'm about to do real this year. We already talked about this. I give you an example. In out in the third ward. Third ward right now, land is at a premium.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere inside the loop, land is at a premium. But this is the thing. It's going to be at a premium 5 years from now too, even more premium.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what I would do it's outrageous right now. You look like 150,000, 200,000. I would go ahead if I had 150,000 laying around. I would take that and go ahead and buy that land lot. There's nothing but a 5,000 square foot lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I would take that and sit on it for 2 to 3 years. Then I would sell it for 200,000, 250,000.
Yep.
So
price is steadily going up.
Yeah, price is steadily going up. So if you look at the as an investment, let's say 2 years from now I make 50,000. That's $25,000 a year. That's almost better than a rental right there. And I didn't do anything to it. I don't have to worry about a tenant. I don't have to worry about maintenance. I might have to cut the grass and all that stuff. But I just sat on it for 2 years. That's how Master P got rich. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't know that. He just bought a lot of land and he sat on it.
Mm-hmm.
Amongst other things. But that's one of the things. He just bought a lot of land that sat on it for a couple of years. And it's double, triple his money. Just depending. And you buy it in a hot area, you guarantee people as they build up, the demand gonna go higher and higher. Yeah. As they build more businesses in that area, the price gonna get even more valuable.
Right.
So
you can see the trajectory of growth in Houston.
Right.
It's going from in the loop outside, Sunnyside, Fifth Ward. Like these areas are like next up. Right. And they're already starting to see the increase in prices. So if you buy smart and get it early enough, you can see the same result.
Right. I would say even off of 99.
Yep.
Because 99, that's next up to be built up, especially in commercial.
That's gonna be the next loop. That's gonna be the
next loop. So I would start right now, but it's gonna be a 5 to 10 year project. But think about it. It's the same thing with rental. But you're not seeing the money every month. You're saying that you're gonna see it 10 years from now. You're gonna see it 5 years from now. So you buy out 99 right now, you sit on that lot 10 years, you're gonna double it up, if not triple it up.
Easy.
And that's gonna be by the time they start developing out there. Because they already start with the commercials already. And it's gonna be pretty soon when they got the commercial, the home gonna start popping up.
Yep. Because they already got some master plan communities already popping up around 99.
Right, Bridgeland, all that, especially where I'm at in Cape, because I'm off of 99.
Ellison, all that.
So the next thing I want to get into, let's talk about. Now this is where the bread. You want to get lumpy pockets. You know what I'm saying? Mess with this commercial with strip malls. A lot of us sleep on these strip malls, man. Strip malls, and a lot of people think you got to be filthy rich to mess with these strip malls. You don't. Nope. You don't have to get a Home Depot anchored strip mall in order to get rich. You get your strip mall, let's say 5 doors, 5 to 10 doors. Let's say 5 doors. Let's say it costs you $1 million. You only have to put 30% down. So you get $300,000 and you finance the rest. But the same thing like you did with the quads, your tenant is going to pay for the note.
Yep.
So let's say you got 5 doors Either, and this is great for if you got a business, you got a barbershop, you have a salon, a massage parlor, whatever you got.
Yeah. Clothing store.
Yeah, we think small, a restaurant. Instead of doing this written one, go ahead, buy a strip mall or get a strip mall built, lease the other doors out, and have them facilitate your business. That way, whatever you bringing in your business is nothing but black.
Right.
So let's break this down. Let's say without a business, let's say I got 5 tenants in there, and they $5,000 each. At $700,000, your note only going to be, let's say on a commercial tip, let's say $700,000. You're only looking at about $5,000 note, and you rent it for $3,000 to $5,000 each. Let's say on a low tip,
right?
Let's say $3,000 each. Everybody rent, so that's $15,000. And your note only $5,000, so they're gonna pay for the note, and you got $10,000 liquid coming in.
Right.
But see, the thing is, you gotta have that nice lump sum to get in on that strip mall, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000.
Yep. And if you get the right lease, they can pay for the taxes, insurance, and the maintenance.
Right. So they're gonna pay for everything. Your tenant's gonna pay for everything.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is get the right spot and get the right tenants in there, and it's gonna pay for itself. So the same thing a lot of my associates were doing with the 10 doors on the residential side. You could do with 5 doors on the commercial side. You still got that $10,000 liquid before you wake up. They paying everything.
Yep. And the lease terms are longer. They're not doing the 1-year leases. They're
gonna do 5-year leases. They're gonna do 10-year leases. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have to go with tenants. You don't have to worry about, you know what I'm saying? Every 6 months, doing the windows and doing the walls and everything like that. They're gonna kind of keep their business up if they want to keep their business. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot more money. That's how a lot of people outside our community got rich. Yeah. It's strip malls. And I'm looking at all up and down where I'm at, especially in Katy. Fry 99, I see nothing but land for sale. For sale. All strip malls for sale. Build a suit. So you take that land, build your strip mall on it. Actually, you'll do better probably doing a construction loan and building it yourself. You can probably get it cheaper. You will get it cheaper. Build it yourself, lease that thing out, and you're looking good. You're looking pretty for the rest of your life, basically. Just keep your tenants in there. Get a management company to go ahead and manage that thing and keep it full at all times. And you sit back and collect your check. And then once that thing pay out, you take that and go buy you a couple of more strip malls. I'll get you the big one as the Home Depot anchored one, or whoever, Best Buy anchored, go from there.
Then go get an apartment building.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's the last step I want to go. That's further on. That's stage 4. That's when you're in the multi-millions. So as you look, we went from 0 wholesaling. We would have brought it all the way down to now stage 4. You're in the multi-million dollars. The multi-million dollar thing, the best thing to do is get the hundreds of doors. Think about it. Most apartment places got 300 to 500 doors.
Yep.
Paying $1,000 each. You add that up per month. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's where the real money, that's where wealth is at. Real Grant Cardone money is in the apartment complex. Now they're high maintenance. You gotta pay your people, you gotta pay your maintenance, you gotta keep the ground, you gotta it's a lot of stuff that go into it, but still you're yielding probably 6 figures when it's all said and done, at least a month. Now it's millions of dollars to get into it, but once you're in there, you're in there. Also, you can take land if you get in early enough. This is what they're doing in Katy. You buy enough land and you can sit there and develop your own apartment complex. Get it built by yourself. Get a builder and build your own apartment complex. Cut the middleman. And there's financing we can do for the whole thing. You see? So back to getting that land and having an eye when you having those investments come in. Right now, get that land and just sit on it until your wealth meet where you can either flip that land or I'm gonna just develop this land myself. You see what I'm saying? And then from there, you're passing on the legacy from there. You know, your kids can eat. That's how people got rich. That's how people get rich.
Yep.
And this is the thing, is one of the most safe investments that you can make, because nobody's gonna pick up an apartment complex and steal it.
Right.
Nobody's gonna pick up a house.
With everything that happened with COVID too, all the people that maybe lost their jobs or maybe had to sell or lose their house, they still got to have somewhere to stay.
Right. Everybody's gonna have to have somewhere to stay. It's not going out of style. You know, it's not something seasonal. People have to, you know, real estate is what it is. You know, that's why I got in this business, got in on the finance side, because like I said, I like the numbers. I'm a numbers guy. So I mean, real estate is where it is. So I mean, we done marched you through all the progression. Again, I would start with the multi-doors acquired. It's the easiest thing to get into. Again, and this is not for the faint of heart. This is not, if you want to get rich quick,
no, this ain't it.
This ain't it for you. If you want to put you together a 20, 30-year plan where you could have a nice retirement, you could pass something down to your kids, and you want to build up your last name, this is it. If you're trying to get, you know, if you want to get rich overnight, play the lottery. You know what I'm saying? Play the lottery, get into some, you know, become a rapper, try to make a single or something like that. This
shoot out to the golden nugget or something. Try to
go down to the casino, play something on. This ain't for you. This ain't. You're not going to get rich quick over this. This is a lot of grinding. It's a lot of it's going to take many moons to do this, but the reward is you know, you're making money while you sleep.
Right.
You know, you don't have to kill yourself to, you know, think about it. If I'm busting my butt to make $10,000 a month, if I get hurt or something, that $10,000 gone.
Mm-hmm.
But if I got $10,000 worth of doors and I'm making another $10,000 and all my expenses only cost $5,000, shoot, I still could travel and all that stuff because I got my doors.
Right.
I still could do it. Even if I get hurt, I decide to take off and go to Europe for 6 months. I could do that. Or I could go to, you know, Asia for 6 months. I still got that money coming in because of the doors.
Yep.
So you got to work smarter, not harder. You got what I'm saying? And this is no get rich quick. So I mean, and I keep saying this. So don't think this is like a lottery thing where you could automatically do it. Because if it was automatic thing and easy, everybody would be doing it.
Right.
This requires discipline. This is going to require making very good decisions over a long period of time. You know what I'm saying? So, I know we was over 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we at the limit.
So we at the 30-minute mark. I don't see it. You see any questions? Let me see. I got one question on YouTube. All right. Okay. No, that's not really a question. You got any questions on Instagram?
Nah.
Gotcha. All right. So with that, you got any final statements? We're gonna go ahead and cut it up. If y'all got any questions, don't forget to call me. I'm glad to get y'all started. Y'all want to get started on some doors right now? Go to my website, www.applywithbrightnow.com. Let's go ahead and end it up. www.applywithb. And let's get started. Let's get started on some wealth building, especially if you're in your 20s, 30s. It's a no-brainer. You can call me, 832-775-8357 if you got any questions about this. Call me 24/7. Again, at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Also, you can cash at me at Power of Ownership, $ the Power of Ownership if you like what we're doing. Chris is at CJ Sales Texas on all social. CJ Sales, TX, Texas TX, right?
Yeah.
And then I want to shout out.
You want to strategize, put a plan together on get started, or if you're already in the game and you want to get a strategy and acquire some other properties, now give me a call, 832-338-3182. And like I said, social media everywhere, CJ Sales TX.
Right. So Man, there's no excuse, man. I mean, it's out there. We willing to help you. If you want to get rich, you want to have to where you 40, 50 years old and you know you can go ahead, travel, do your thing, and not have to clock in and out and not worry about, hey, I feel 15 minutes late, I'm gonna lose my livelihood. You know what I mean? Start making preparations right now. We can help you with that, you know, but it's gonna take some work. It's gonna take discipline. It's gonna take some know-how, and we can help you with the know-how. So you're gonna have to insert the discipline in the time when you sell. So with that being said, shout out to Houston Condo Sales, one of our sponsors, our first sponsor. So hopefully the first of many. Check that website out, the number one site right now for any condos, townhouses, or high rises in the Houston area. So with that being said, don't forget my closing statement. God is a verb and personal responsibility is your only savior. That we're gonna say peace.
Peace.